Good evening and welcome to tonight's show from DJ and TV, Disc Jockey News TV. Tonight's show is brought to you by Electra Voice, DJ Event Planner, DJ Trivia, Odyssey Innovative Designs and Cases, NLFX Professional, Promo Only, and the DJ and TV Insiders.
DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
Good evening and welcome to night number 3. We had Monday and Tuesday, and now we're at Wednesday. In our first half hour, kicking us off, we've got Mitch Taylor. Good evening, Mitch.
Good evening, John. How you doing?
I am doing well. Thanks for being with me tonight.
Thanks for having me.
We are going to talk probably about a few things here in the next half hour, but I want to basically we talked a little before we went down to Mobile Beat about your presentation of what you're going to talk about. And I want to kind of build off that with our little spot tonight. So let's just kind of dive right into it. I've got multiple screens going here, so I'm going to make sure that this one wasn't doing, I thought I saw streaming over there. It's like, why would that be? Sorry.
It's all good. John's like you on NFL playoff Sundays, got multiple screens.
Exactly. There's more truth to that than you guys would want to, you guys realize what we're all doing here. So for those who give us a little Reader's Digest version of what you spoke on in Vegas.
So in Vegas, I spoke on the help strategy, and basically was ways to help people move forward. And what I talked about was the 8 touch points, if you will. And I talked about 3 different ways that you can differentiate, appreciate, and create for your clients, for other event pros, and for yourself. And we outlined those in the seminar, and I want to kind of dive a little bit deeper on that here tonight in regards to the specific touch points that I talked about with Create for the end of my seminar at Mobile Beat. I didn't really have a lot of time to dive deeper into that there, so I thought this would be kind of cool to do the follow-up here for DJ and TV.
Sure, that sounds great. I've got to close the door. I have a dog. You're probably hearing my dog out here. This is part of...
It was John, ladies and gentlemen. He
live.
let the dogs out.
This is part of doing live shows, and it's like warm outside, so the doors are open. So before we jump into talking about that, the eight points and such, and getting into that, you mentioned the word touch points, and I'm going to ask you to do some defining of some things when there's words that I've heard DJs use and use improperly. When you're referring to touch points with people, kind of give us a definition for that.
Touch points is any part or any time that you touch a client. I'm not talking about physically touch a client. I mean, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about any way that you put your name in front of their face, if you will. So, for example, I got this terminology. I'm always reading, John. I'm a lifelong learner. You know that. I mean, you and I have known each other for years now at this point. But I got this from a book called What Customers Crave by Nicholas Webb.
Yeah.
And I saw Nicholas Webb speak before. And this is one of the big takeaways for me when I saw him speak was the touch point concept. And I've heard people talk about this, but really to be able to break it down for you. And then, of course, as I prepped for my seminar at Mobile Beat Las Vegas, I broke it down into 8 touch points. This played off the ATE that I was working with.
Yep.
Differentiate, appreciate, and create the strategies, and literally numbered 8, touch points, if you will, that you can have for your clients. And so touch points to me is anytime you're touching a client. And I think times you should always be touching your client in regards to social media push, presence beefed up, messages, emails, monthly email checklists sent out like I have available.
Yeah.
It's a birthday. It's, hey, we're 90 days out until the wedding of the century with Jessica and Tom, that kind of thing. So that's always doing what what Nicholas calls a pre-touch, if you will, something you should always be doing in that rolling process of the client cycle and your marketing and things like that.
Sure. Well, let's dive into it. I wanted to make sure that we had that because I've heard DJs who have referred to a lot of different things and not accurately when it comes to that touch point thing.
Does that make sense, John?
It does. It really does. It does. And I think that's the part of it is that it is those contacts with the client. And it can be, as you say, contact with the prospect before, but it's those contacts, whether it's email, text message, messenger message, face-to-face. Wow, like that's something of the past, but all of these different aspects.
Well, and that's the branding side. And Nicholas calls it the pre-touch. It's, before they even know you, contact you, your branding, your communication, your social media presence, your wedding wire reviews. Like I had a bride call me today, more and more they're doing this, they're texting,
Oh, for sure.
And text comes in and, hey, can I get a price on X date and blah, 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 I'm like, okay, go back to the fundamental 2 questions that I outlined in the book. How did you hear about us? What do you know about us as a company? Oh, I found you on Google, did a review search. And then as I get deeper, again, you ask the question again, you get deeper. I watched a couple of your videos on YouTube, so pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then delve deeper, and now we're having a meeting with them and all that. So, but yeah, always doing the pre-touch, I think is so important for branding purposes.
And for those of you that follow, just going to do a little plug here for tomorrow morning, Mitch.
Sure.
For those of you who follow Mike and Joe on Thursdays, they are off for 2 weeks. And tomorrow we have a treat. We've got Vicky and Mitch. They've recorded a session for us that's going to be going up tomorrow morning on DJ and TV. And Mitch is actually going to be going through a conversation. Actually, both Vicky and Mitch are going to go through conversation. One was a face-to-face, it's kind of sales conversation, and Mitch is going to go through an email version.
Yes.
So if you
two different conversations,
and they go and kind of pick them apart and talk about them. So that's tomorrow morning. It's going to drop on DJ and TV. Okay, sorry for the plug, but I wanted to use this because it's a great setup.
So the rest of the 8 touch points, if you will, the rest of the 7, if you will, are typically after the booking. And I would encourage you to examine where you're putting your advertising dollars. Now, many people have those advertising dollars, and maybe you're in a fierce market like a Philadelphia or a Jersey or a Miami or something. I don't know. For me, you want to have that number 1 wedding wire placement or the knot placement or that kind of thing. I get it. There's nothing wrong with that. All I would suggest to you is take a percentage then of that money you're spending on that national advertise 1-800, I don't know who you are, and put it back into the pockets of your clients who believe in you and trusted you with their business and with one of the most important days of their life, whether it be a mitzvah or a wedding, or maybe it's a corporate event, a gala, whatever it might be. And so the second touch, if you will, after the pre-touch, is the initial touch. We typically drop a $10 Starbucks gift card via email out to the client 7 days after booking. It's just a thank you, for booking us and giving them a heads up. And of course, if you want to get more personal, you can. If you find out their favorite beverage, you want to drop a 6-pack of that. Off at their place of business, they work locally, kind of thing. If you've established that relationship, of course, by all means, go that extra mile and do that. But we found that initial touch, a $10 Starbucks gift card, and we do $10 because normally there's two people for us for weddings, and $5 a piece. Typically, we'll buy pretty close to a couple drinks.
Yeah.
At a Starbucks kind of thing or something like that. So our initial touch, the second touch, is a $10 Starbucks gift card sent 7 days after the booking. Now, how do you set this up? Well, for us, there are several different ways you can do it. We're a little more primitive in our style of doing this so far. But we just have DJ Event Planner send us a reminder email.
Yeah.
That triggers 7 days after the booking date. And, it literally is typed something like, hey, Rockstar, be sure to send, Angela and Joe a Starbucks gift card. They just booked you 7 days ago. Go get it done, son. Something like that.
Right.
Is how it's phrased, just to trigger my head. Okay, go do that.
Yep.
There may be other services out there. Maybe someone here knows. If you do, hit me up. I'd love to know more automation secrets that might make that better for me. So again, I profess to give what I know and help where I can, and that's me. So that's the second touch. Third touch, we send a core touch. Is what Nicholas Webb calls it for the third touch. You can do whatever you want for the core touch, but he recommended, and I think it's a good recommend here, something branded to your business. Whether that could be a T-shirt, it could be a coffee mug. For us, excuse me,
Yeah,
it's a Bluetooth speaker water bottle. Those are kind of cool. Maybe it's a Yeti mug that you've got branded for you. But sending a Bluetooth speaker water bottle, it kind of also relates to music, right?
Mm-hmm.
That they may have hired you for. And if your clients are active, working out, that kind of thing, now they can not only, advertise you, if you will, when they're working out at the gym and drinking water or whatever the case is, but if they're at the poolside, they've got it next to them, they're playing music off of it, kind of thing. And it's a fun little gift. That typically costs about, $40, $35-$40 for two of those for branding and things like that. So we send those out 120 days prior to the event date.
Okay.
So about 4 months prior. And same kind of triggered email rolls out.
Yep.
So that's our core touch, again, 120 days prior for that system. The last touch, I call it, because it's your last touch before the actual event takes place. And for us in the wedding industry, we do primarily weddings. So this is our branded, 8 touch point campaign for weddings that I'm giving you here right now as a freebie right now. But if you're a DJ NTV insider, you will get this behind the curtain if you missed it live. So thank you for joining us today and watching this now. We send out for the last touch, and it's 7 days before the event. So it literally is anticipation time. Like, it's almost here. Like, people are starting to come. People start to RSVP, final preps and all that. And we send them Sugarfina. You can get them at sugarfina.com, I believe it is. Champagne bubbles. They're like little gummy bubbles that you put in your mouth, and a gummy bear kind of thing, and they burst with champagne. When you bite into it, it's kind of unique, kind of different.
Yeah,
it's memorable. But with champagne, that tends to leave a lasting impression. Obviously, you should check to make sure your clients like champagne, right? But at that point, you typically have had that conversation. Are you having champagne for toasting? You've already got that conversation down. So if they are, champagne bubbles is a great way to go. 7 days before the event, they get, and obviously you trigger that. You send the email to yourself about, 14 days prior so that you can order it, get it shipped, get it sent to them so it arrives 7 days prior before the wedding.
Right.
And it's a fun little gift. They get it. It's a little box, like this. You open, it looks like a wedding favor that you get little chocolates in or whatever, And they open it up, a little message on it. Hey, can't wait to party with you in 7 days. And then, pop the champagne. And it's kind of cute. I've had several different emails come back from brides say, oh my gosh, that was so cool, kind of thing. It's like $17.50. That's the cost on that. So again, we're not talking, big cost number of gifts here, we're talking under $20 typically. Even the Bluetooth speaker water bottles under $20 a piece, kind of thing. If you'd be able to push those out to your client. So now we're in and we're looking at this and we're like, man, we've only spent like $60 on marketing to this couple before their event happens. Make sense?
Oh yeah. Yep. Certainly does.
Retouch, you're running through with social and things like that. Initial touch is $10 Starbucks card. The Bluetooth water bottle at the core touch. The last touch, Sugar Fina champagne bubbles. But then, the wedding's happened. They've had a ton of fun, hopefully, had a blast. 30 days after the wedding, send them a very nicely designed PDF, branded with your company information on it, of course, too, and possibly even an image from their wedding on it of the playlist from their wedding day. Doesn't cost you anything, but yet it's a cool little, kind of cool.
Yeah.
You're not sending them the music. You can't do that. Just what you played. And that will spark memories for them. Oh, that's when he played that. And that's when Uncle Joe did this. And,
sure.
And that kind of thing. And it's a very simple, zero cost to you, but it's another one of those 8 touch points, if you will. So 30 days after, kind of recreate some of that excitement that they had at the wedding, at the event, from the event, and spark that energy again from them a little bit. This next one, I stole the idea from a friend of mine, an Aussie friend of mine. A little hit of the Death Wish coffee. And Bradley Kajelson is an Aussie friend of mine. He's been over and taken Bill Herman's Entertainment Experience Workshop. He's had me over to speak in Australia. After Australia, when I got back this past August, in my mailbox was this card. And it literally, I don't have the card in front of me right now. I wish I did. But the card was about this size.
Okay.
This is my Toastmasters book, but it was about this size. So pretty big, 8.5 by 11 folded card. Should have brought it with me tonight. It's at my office. And in it, or on the card, and it's nicely laminated card, kind of thing. Or not laminated, glossy card, I should say. It's a glossy card. And it has several images of my wife and I having fun in Australia.
Oh, nice.
And all he did was go onto my social, pull those images off of social, put them to Moonpig is the name of the company.
Moonpig.
Moonpig. Moon is in full moon. Pig is in P-I-G, like Porky Pig.
Yeah.
That's a dated reference. If
that
you're
is.
over
You
40
just
years old, you know that.
Yeah,
so
you old guys watching those Looney Tunes. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right? Exactly, John. So Moonpig will send like an 8.5 by 11, like a big card. We're not talking 3.5 by 5. We're not talking a little thank you card. We're not talking, something that you can pick up at your neighborhood Walmart at Target. You're talking a big 8.5 by 11 personalized card with pictures from the event, and send it to them. And this is 4 months, after the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So you friend your clients on social, Insta, whatever, pull 4 to 6 images from it. Say, hey, it was such a pleasure partying with you and your family. Hope you're enjoying your first few months of wedded bliss. Thanks again for having us. Something like that. Something very casual, very easy. And it's a wow factor because, again, it's 8.5 by 11. It's not the typical, little thank you card handwritten thing. And that was something that, again, is a pretty big, impact. And the cost is $10.
Nice.
Not bad.
Yeah. For that impact.
Bad. Huh?
Not bad for that impact that you're going to get from that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so now we're at $70 I spent $70 on this couple. All right.
Mitch, there was a question here.
Sure.
Jesse asked about you're not doing any kind of a little thank you or anything for the day of the event. A thank you gift is what he specifically was asking about.
No, I don't. I know a lot of guys that do, and I'm not saying I'm for or against that. I just don't. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, yeah, I do that when I don't. I mean, I ask my staff what we do. This is what we do, So I know a lot of guys, some guys that do that. I know, in fact, my good friend, Dave Tournier, who also has a show on DJN TV.
Yeah, we've heard of him.
You what?
We've heard of him.
Yeah, I heard of him. He's pretty tall.
Yes.
There's pictures of him and Vicky, and it's like, Vicky's got her head cut off at the top, or you can't even see Vicky, and, there's Dave, full face. Anyway, I digress. So, Dave actually gives a bottle of champagne, I believe, but I think, I could be wrong, but that may be the only touch that Dave does. If not, it's one of few touches that he does.
Yeah.
So this, I think, again, in today's day in society, people are bombarded with 3,000 messages a day in regards to social advertising, text, phone notification, whatever, right? So you have to find unique ways to stand out and to maximize your budget that you have for advertising and marketing, if you will.
Sure.
So I'm not a big fan of the, shotgun. I want to target it more tightly to the people that believed in me and have hired our company and referring us. That's where I want to focus my efforts on.
Yep.
Hope that makes sense.
Makes
I'm not either for or against that, Jesse. You know what I mean? I think it's a good idea. Yes. And you could do this in addition to this. If you wish, or adjust one of the steps to include that and not have one of the other ones. That's totally cool. Whatever works for you, man. So that's 100 days after the event, same triggered email, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
A year after the event, we will send a Venus and Fleeth small rose. It's a 1-year rose, and it's Venus and Fleeth. You Google Venus and Fleeth, it'll pull up the actual Fleith, I believe the Fleeth is. Small rose, it's 2 inches by 2 inches, and you send it in their wedding colors. Now, this is probably the most expensive one. It's like $49, but it's a big impact because you've decided to send them something. And you could adjust it. I know. I got the Venus and Fleeth idea from Brian Bonacisi.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He had that idea first, and I'm like, yep, love it, ran with it. And he sends his, I think, 500 days out, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I try to send mine on the first anniversary. I think it's a nice time to do it. His argument was send it on a day they're not expecting it, which I agree with too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The 500th day anniversary. What a
whatever.
Idea.
You can make a bigger impact. Everyone's different what they want to do, right? So that's the 7th touch. So now we're up to like $110-ish, 115, right? That ballpark, depending on shipping and things like that. And finally, the 8th touch, if you will. And I talked about this a little bit: differentiate, appreciate, create, and finally advocate. And that's advocate for them as a family, as a couple, as they grow. And so for me, I've been doing this for years before I even came up with the 8 concept, if you will. And that was baby books. Send your clients baby books. When you see that they have announced on social media, Facebook, Insta, whatever, that, hey, we're having a baby boy, we're having a baby girl, we're so excited to welcome them to the family. Just PM them, DM them, and ask them for their address. And then in turn, say, hey, I'd love to send you a little welcoming gift for your baby boy, baby girl. Where can I send it to?
Yeah.
Now, what book do you send? So I typically send The Little Engine That Could.
Okay.
It is a great story. It's non-gender specific, so that doesn't matter. And it's a little, it's a small size of book. It's not very large, easy to ship. I do a little handwriting on the inside. If I know the baby's name by that point, I will include the baby's name. So happy you guys are going to make great parents. So happy to see you at this time in your lives.
Yeah.
Please enjoy reading this to baby William. Something like that. And then sign Mitch Taylor. That has had such an impact, John. It's been amazing.
Oh,
People
certainly.
will take a picture of it. They'll say it's the first book they read to the baby,
Oh, nice.
that kind of thing. And they'll post about it back on their social, which of course does what? Oh, that was that guy.
That was that guy.
He was really good at their wedding, and it brings up your name again in conversation. So that's the 8 touch, if you will, our baby books. Mm-hmm. And I get those at bulkbookstore.com is where I pick those up.
Oh, nice.
You can buy them in bulk at a time, get them for a lower price. Obviously, you pay more buying in bulk. But again, you get a bunch of them and keep them on hand. You're going to go through them, trust me.
Yeah.
I'm actually down to like 4 or 5 left right now. It's time to reorder. So we're talking a total cost here of investment for you and your client of $130.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I want to get on the whole raise your rate thing, but if you increase your rates by $100, that covers this budget for you typically, for you to be able to do this for your clients and put the money they've invested in you back into their pocket in different ways, while still being able to promote your service, promote your brand, and get your strong word of mouth out there. So that to me is a little more in depth of the 8 touch points that I talked about at Mobile Beat Las Vegas 23. I think anytime we can put money in the back into those that believe in us, it's a good thing.
Certainly.
I'm not a big fan of the whole payola thing, where, vendors will, pay to be referred. Well, hey, if you refer me, I'll give you, $60, $100, whatever, I'd rather people refer me because they believe in me, but this is also rewarding people, thanking them for their business, that kind of thing.
David has a question here, Mitch. Yeah. What would you suggest for an older couple? So if you're having somebody who, probably not going to have the children, or if they don't like champagne, there's got to be a plan B with some of your thing. Not Geritol, Greg. Goodness gracious, Geritol. No.
So for your older couples, why don't you go online and get them a gift certificate to a canvas print store? And this will allow them to be able to order one of their favorite photographs blown up and put it on a nice canvas print at their house for them. It's a great idea to be able to, because older guests typically, they love family photos, right? They love having photos up in their house. And this is something that's going to be used by them. Mm-hmm. Explain it to them. Or maybe you partner with a photographer and you will cover X amount of dollars towards or give them a free sitting fee with that photographer.
Right.
And send them a gift, that kind of thing. There's a lot of ways you can play this, mm-hmm. different ways you want to do it, but you can talk about giving back to the local community and order a little arrangement of flowers be sent to the couple the week before the wedding versus a champagne bubble thing. Now you're giving money back locally to a local florist and being able to serve your couple at the same time. Sure.
And I love the idea of being able to, the local florist or where you can do a plant or something. Anytime you can do a local business. As someone whose wife owns a local newspaper, it all works together.
There you go.
You go. Definitely works.
And I gave some national concepts here. I know I try to, because again, we are disc jockey and TV or DJ NTV is national.
And we have
international for that matter.
Pretty much so.
Use what works for you. Whenever you can buy local, buy local. So.
Home decor. Home decor things. If it's something that fits their style, I think it definitely could be a possibility. It's just, I know sometimes
it's hard to know the style. That's why I suggested the canvas, because that's pretty well universal.
Yeah,
it's going to be wrapped with a photo they love.
Mike Anderson's wondering if he can trash talk in the chat room to make Mitch laugh. No, Mitch is
which Mike Anderson is that? Sack Mike or is it Mini Mike?
No, Sack Mike. Mini Mike. It's not him. It's
trash talking's over.
Trash talking's over. The show's just one.
I just called him Sack Mike on the video.
Yeah, pretty much. Now everyone's like, why did he call him that? What does that mean? Is he like a bum or a hobo or something? I don't know.
No, it's because he's from Sacramento.
Sacramento, yes. For those of you who don't know, he's a California boy.
There you go.
But
Now you know.
the other story of him being a hobo and, as your mind is going in different directions is much more fun. Some great ideas, Mitch.
Only because Sacramento. Much love for Mike Anderson.
A lot of great ideas here, and a lot of people really appreciate some of the ideas, and you've got them thinking, which I think, and something like this.
Appreciate. That's one of the 8s.
Appreciate, yes, they definitely appreciate. Minnesota is Mike Anderson from Minnesota. Is the other one.
Yes.
So he's still going on with that.
There's 2 Mike Andersons. Actually 3. There's a guy named Mike Anderson that did my flooring in my house.
Oh,
Go figure.
yeah.
Yeah. Weird.
Kind of a
Side tangent.
So if people would like to reach out, first off, for the coaching, where can they go and check that out?
They can hit me up at mitchtaylor.net or tailoredsales.com. Anything they wish to do there, they can hit me up. Find me on Facebook, DM me on Instagram. Instagram is MitchTaylor23. Facebook is at Mitch Taylor. And that's those are my handles.
And you guys can, of course, find him on Facebook, message that way. Mitch is very accessible and helpful when you can reach out during those times when he has time, because he's a very, very busy man. He cleans up
I just
dust.
had someone reach out to me yesterday from my mobile beat session. Can I get a time with you to chat about tomorrow? And sure.
One last question here, Jesse. Do you send these to all your clients, or just the ones that bought the higher packages?
All of my wedding clients.
Everybody.
All of our wedding clients get these. Good question, though, Jesse.
Yeah,
Thank you for the question.
Very good question there, Jesse. So, Mitch, I've got to bounce here to get on with the next show. So thank you guys for being with us. And if you go to djntv.com/DJEDU for the link for the next show, and we'll be talking about that when you know it's time to move from your day job to being a full-time DJ. We'll be right back with that. Mitch, thanks for being on.
Thanks, John.